Okay, so we're going to read Stories to Tell by Janine Boylan, which is a profile. And also I'm going to go straight into the Rainbow Bridge. So make sure you have both worksheets ready to go. Stories to Tell. When Elizabeth Lindsay was 7 years old, the elders predicted that she would keep the voices of her ancestors alive. When her father asked her what she would do in her life, Elizabeth said she would tell stories. So make sure you have your paper, and we're going to answer 2 questions. The first one is use text features. Now we've talked about text features. We know what they are. Now you're actually going to apply it. So reading the title. Read the title, Stories to Tell. How does Elizabeth keep her ancestors' voices alive? This right here tells you what she does. Answer question number 1. Question number 2. Make inferences. Remember, an inference is taking your background knowledge plus what you observe and read in text and making a good guess. So here we go. How do you think the elders felt about what Elizabeth wanted to do? So Elizabeth said she would tell stories. How do you think the elders felt about that? Answer question number 2. Okay, let's keep reading. Like other native Hawaiian children, Elizabeth was raised by a group of elders as well as her parents. The elders teach the children how the cycles of the moon can show them the best times to plant and fish. They teach the children to respect nature too. The children learn to take only what they need and return the rest. During sharing time in 4th grade, Elizabeth loved to tell stories about the people she cared about. As she grew, she realized she wanted to preserve the stories from Native people around the world, like those who had raised her. Now, Elizabeth travels to listen to stories from Native cultures few people know about. She says, "The more I learn about other people, the more amazed I am at how much we are alike." That's the ending of this section. And then we get into the Rainbow Bridge, which is our next story. And the Rainbow Bridge on the following pages is just one of the many stories Elizabeth tells to share her Hawaiian culture. So you have 2 more questions you need to answer. Visualize. So you need to imagine in your mind, paint a picture in your mind. If you traveled with Elizabeth, what do you think you would see and do? Sketch your ideas or draw your ideas. Then describe your picture. So remember, you also have to describe what's in your drawing. So answer question 1. Now here's question number 2. Draw conclusions. Do you think Elizabeth likes her job as a storyteller? Explain. So when you answer this question, you might write, I think Elizabeth likes her job as a storyteller because, or I don't think Elizabeth likes her job as a storyteller because. You need to make sure you explain. And that's the end of that reading selection. Okay, now we are on to the Rainbow Bridge. A long time ago in Hawaii, the people set out in their canoes. They rowed a long way north of their home. They rowed for days and days. The air got colder. The days grew shorter. Finally, they reached a new cold place. Wonderful people came to greet them. These people took them into their homes. They fixed their warm canoes. They treated the Hawaiians like family. At first, the Hawaiians loved this new place. They were happy, they married, they had children, but then they remembered the warm tropical land where they had come from. The more they remembered this land, the more they wanted to return there with their new families. But they loved their new home too. They knew that if they rowed back to Hawaii, they might never be able to return to this land. They hoped silently for a way to return to their old home. They also wanted a way to travel back to their new home. Okay, so you have 2 questions you need to get ready to answer for the Rainbow Bridge. Use text features. So again, you're going to look at the title. Read the title, The Rainbow Bridge. What do you think a rainbow bridge is? Answer question number 1. Okay, question number 2. Compare and contrast. How was the Hawaiian people's new home different from their old home? How were they the same? So if you look on your worksheet, you have a Venn diagram. Use the Venn diagram to compare and contrast their new home from their old home. Kind-hearted Weasel heard their wishes. He had an idea. Weasel began to play his flute. As the notes filled the air, a colorful arc rose from the land and into the sky. Weasel played until the bridge grew high above the ocean. It ended beyond where they could see. Weasel explained that this bridge would take them between their new and old homes. The people were so excited they ran toward the bridge. They grabbed their children's hands. They grabbed their wives' and husbands' hands. When you climb this bridge, do not look down, Weasel warned them. But they did not listen. Some people got to the top of the bridge. They looked down. The ocean was far below them. They got dizzy and fell into the water. These people became dolphins who could travel the seas. The people used the rainbow bridge to travel between their two homes. The dolphins swam from place to place. Now people know the rainbow represents the colors of people around the world. It also represents the bridge that brings them together. Where I love, there are rainbows. Where I live is a place of harmony that follows whatever is. A traditional Hawaiian saying. Okay, so you have 2 more questions you need to answer. Confirm your prediction. Did the people find a way to travel back to their old home? Explain. Okay, your last question, visualize. So in your mind, what would it be like to walk across a rainbow bridge? Describe what you would see and feel. And then you are done with this reading passage.